Like Alex Trebek, you're in jeopardy. Yes, sir, we got the recipe. Give you a tech, but nope, not a referee. Like Wyclef, I'm a refugee.
All right, welcome, people, to our first episode of Take the L podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Zeek.
And this is the wise Amigro, a.k.a. Rosa.
Oh, changing on the spot, just like that. I like it. All right, so what this podcast is going to be about is just sports in general. We'll mainly cover football, basketball, but just anything that pops up that sounds interesting. We're real big football fans, basketball fans, and this guy likes baseball.
You know, it's America's sport, so, you know, we gotta keep it around while it's going.
So we may talk some light baseball. But let's get right down to business. MVP talk. 5 weeks in. Is it too early to start talking about this?
It's not. And because there's some that are sticking out so much that they're going to lead for majority of the entire season, I feel like.
So you're thinking that 5 weeks in we can already tell who's going to be the MVP?
I'm thinking 5 weeks in we can get an idea of maybe the top 3 or 4.
Top 3 or 4? All right, I'm about to pull up a list right now, actually. About to pull up a list. So I'm assuming you're thinking Christian McCaffrey, probably Patrick Mahomes, like the usual suspects.
You know, I wouldn't even put Mahomes in my right now. I would not put Mahomes in my MVP race.
So you're saying 2 games into the season, or two bad games in the season, and you're already about to kick him out?
When you have 2 bad games in a season out of 5 games, yes, it's time to kick him out.
But when the other 3 are so good,
I don't know. Can you say they've been that good?
What are you saying?
I don't understand how you
Mahomes
can say
the
that.
GOAT, bro.
You can't. Sure, he's Kansas City's GOAT. Which state is that? Missouri? Kansas? Where is that at? Okay. He's the GOAT of that state. It's got 10,000 people in it.
Bro,
congratulations.
Cannot do 2 things at once.
Look, the point is, Mahomes they're pulling it out. They know they can, the behind the back passes, I'm going to run around and make a completion. Okay, cool. It works. It gets you a lot of Sports Center, ESPN, TV shows, but it ain't helping you beat the Colts.
That's true, but the Colts had the perfect formula for him, though. And the formula for beating Patrick Mahomes, which is the same thing to beat any offense that is a high-powered offense, keep him the fuck off the field. And how many times did you see Patrick Mahomes on the field in the second half? It felt like it was about 2 or 3 times very briefly.
But if we're saying that he's an MVP candidate, at least 5 weeks in, those 2 or 3 times he's on the field should equal at least 9 points.
No disagreement there. However, what I will say about that is you're talking about a guy who had his top 2 weapons taken away. Gone, not on the field. Sammy Watkins, I think he walked in the game and then tripped over something and then was gone.
The way people are treating Mahomes is as if he literally could take me and you, put us at slot and tight end, and we could take over and dominate the league.
No, that's always been Brady shit. That ain't never been Mahomes' thing.
Mahomes is apparently so talented he can take anybody.
I haven't seen that.
He could take a raccoon and a rat from the back alley, and we out here going 16-0.
Yeah, that's definitely not happening. But
he's not an MVP candidate right now.
How is he not an MVP
5 weeks
candidate?
and he is not an MVP candidate.
All right, so is Chris McCaffrey an MVP candidate?
Christian McCaffrey is an MVP candidate.
Why is he an MVP candidate?
Because he is literally carrying a team that has no one else to turn to.
That's what Mahomes is doing. Did you see the run game last night?
So he carries them for 1 game, and now he should be in the...
I'm just saying, there was no run game.
Okay.
Nobody could get open.
Okay.
And he still kept it competitive, even when he was on the field. Oh, and by the way, the defense couldn't stop a cold. Couldn't stop a rain nose.
Defense never has been able to stop a cold. That hasn't changed anything.
That's true.
The only thing that's changed is now he's starting to get figured out.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
That's a hot take.
I'm thinking Mahomes, unless the NFL is just so enamored with Mahomes being Mahomes, and he likes ketchup or whatever his weird thing is. I can't remember what it was.
The damn commercial.
If they're just so in love with him, sure, he'll be in the running. But as it sits right now, it's Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, and you know what? I'm going to give you top 2. That's it. There's really no one else that's standing out there to me like that. Maybe Dalvin Cook if you want to. But the chances of us getting an MVP that's a running back is just not going to happen.
Yeah,
either.
it don't happen too often. Now, Dalvin Cook, that talking about a dude carrying the team on his back. Now, the funny thing about the Vikings are he doesn't have to carry the team on his back. They have two
great
receivers.
He literally does, though.
Yeah, and
because when you consider who's throwing to those great receivers, he's got to carry the team. They have their quarterback is. I mean, he's a bust. He's terrible.
It's crazy because he seemed like he was decent when he was with the Redskins.
Everybody gets a little time to look slightly amazing. This is the case of Brock Osweiler all over again.
Okay,
you get a short little stint where you just look flawless, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's lights out. He's going to take our team." And then next thing you know, you got two Pro Bowl wide receivers that have 300 yards in a season. You don't want that. I mean, you can't win games like that. You got to hand the ball off to Dalvin Cook for 16 games a year. You can't. That's real.
And I remember Osweiler. The Texans signed him. They bit on the bait. Signed him to some bread. And didn't they trade him away for nothing?
Yeah.
Like hey, we'll pay your salary, but just go away type shit.
They slid an envelope across the table and said, "Get out."
Oh, I think they traded him to the Browns or something.
Yeah.
And then the Browns
was like, "Hey, you're not even good enough for the Browns."
I remember that shit. I remember that.
That's not what you want.
All right. So I'm thinking, if we're talking MVP, I'm still leaving Pat Mahomes in there. I'm saying Chris McCaffrey is definitely an MVP candidate.
Obviously,
he's definitely an MVP candidate. He right now he probably is the MVP.
Number one. Okay,
but I don't think that MVP means you're the best player in the league. I think MVP is situation dictated.
Okay,
so I don't think that I think Chris McCaffrey could be the MVP this year and still not be the best running back. I think he's the top 3 or 4 running back, but I don't think he's the number 1 running back, the best running back in the league right now.
Christian McCaffrey has shown us now I don't even know where Christian McCaffrey is the top guy in the league. The statistics show
yards wise,
he's the statistics show that he's the number 1 guy in the league. He can't be tackled. You're not going to stop him.
Stop.
He can catch. He can run.
He can catch very well,
and he can pass. I would assume
he can do it all.
He can do it all. You're just not stopping him. I mean, you got a guy who is he's a little guy. He's running a 4.4.
Yeah.
But if he can do it all,
by the way,
if he can do it all, this is the same case of basically Kamara, and everybody's ready to crown Kamara as the greatest thing to hit the running backs. I don't know how long.
I think that they're a very good comp for each other, but there's one difference between Kamara and Chris McCaffrey.
He's got a great quarterback to go with him.
That is true.
Okay,
he does.
What? That's a large difference in their game. Is McCaffrey has a tight end throwing him the ball, and Kamara's got a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, probably top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Exactly.
What I will say about that is that Christian McCaffrey has probably one of the best offensive schemers on the planet. I know North Turner gets a lot of hate. But when you start looking at that dude's resume, when he's a head coach, it's whatever. But when this dude is running the offense, he's had AP, he's had LaDainian Tomlinson, and now he has Chris McCaffrey. This dude, he's like Andy Reid in that regard. Andy Reid, it doesn't matter who he puts behind an Andy Reid O-line, an Andy Reid offense, that running back is going to be MVP level.
So you're saying that Christian McCaffrey is the Tom Brady of running backs?
Yes, he is the Tom Brady of running backs.
He is a scheme running back.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
You're comfortable with that.
And I will say this. I'm not saying he can't be MVP. I'm not saying that he can't run for 2,000 yards this year. Because they run at this rate, there's only 2 things that can happen. He's going to run for 2,500 yards, or he's going to die on the field from exhaustion. There's only 2 things that can happen right now. Because, dude, this dude got 37 touches. I haven't seen a number like that.
And he never comes off the field.
Yeah, he doesn't come off the field.
He doesn't come off the field, and he gets tons of touches.
They probably gave him more touches because he actually did come off the field at the very end of the game because of cramps. I bet North Turner be like, yo, give him the ball 45 to fuck it.
Why not? It's working. if my running back's going to give me 3 touchdowns and $180, 200 yards a game, he's going to get the ball as much as he wants. There's no stopping him. I'm going to feed the beast. I'm going to do what they should be doing in Texas, in Dallas, and I'm going to feed my beast in Christian McCaffrey. He's going to carry me.
That is real. They need to be giving the rock more to Ezekiel Elliott right now.
I don't even know what's going on in there. I have no idea what's going on in Dallas.
I think Dallas will get it straight. They have too much talent on their team not to get it straight.
A lot of teams have talent on their team. It doesn't make them good.
Not Dallas level talent, though. I watched Dallas lose this game to Green Bay. They got bullied up front. That's not what happens to Dallas. They just had a lapse, man. They got like outmanned.
A mental lapse?
Not a mental lapse. They had a
Across the
lapse.
front?
Yeah. Like, when have you ever seen somebody bully Dallas's line and linebackers? They probably have two of the best young linebackers.
It was literally 2 days ago.
That's true.
It was 2 days ago, and we watched some random guy score 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's another reason I think that Christian McCaffrey is a product of a system. Because it's not like, I don't think you can say, oh, well, if they have the highest stats, they're the best running back, period, across the board. Aaron Jones scored 4 touchdowns.
But Aaron Jones isn't even in any statistical category other than I scored 4 touchdowns last weekend.
Aaron Jones has scored several touchdowns this year.
Okay.
Like, a lot. I think he scores one like every game or some such shit.
Other than him having a big game this past weekend against the Cowboys, being who it was against, and how many times he scored, nobody's talking about Aaron Jones other than that. They're not doing it. You know why? Because he's not Dalvin Cook. He's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not Zeek. He's not Alvin Kamara. There's so many more. There's probably 10 running backs I would put ahead of Aaron Jones.
Yeah? Yeah. He's fast. Same thing I say about Christian McCaffrey. He's fast and can catch.
If you're building a team right now, do you take Aaron Jones or Christian McCaffrey?
I'll take Christian McCaffrey.
Why is that? They're the same guy.
I mean, there's level to this.
But
like I say, if we are building a team right now, are you taking Christian McCaffrey as your running back out of everybody else? Because I'm not. I think there's at least 2 more I would take over him, possibly 3.
There is only, as it sits right now, there's not a running back that's playing in the NFL right now that I would take over Christian McCaffrey.
You wouldn't take Saquon Barkley over Christian McCaffrey.
Saquon Barkley is on the bench because his ankle hurts.
Everybody gets injured, man. It's part of football. Now,
for Christian McCaffrey.
If they keep giving him the ball 37 times a game, he will be on the bench.
He now has probably surpassed carries for everybody right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he has.
I think by a large number.
Yeah.
And he is not showing cramps is why I had to come out of the game. I get a cramp walking upstairs. That's like, and I still got to go on about the day. Like, that's nothing. A cramp's not going to make me not take a guy as my starting running back.
And it's also alleged cramps, too.
Alleged cramps.
Yeah.
So which means he was just tired of destroying people. So he was like, all right, let's give the next guy up some running time.
Maybe.
I mean, that's just all it is.
Like I say, he's a machine right now. But I've also seen this end badly.
I don't know how this would end badly for you.
You're a Ravens fan.
Yes.
You see what happens when somebody gets ran into the dirt.
I have no idea what happens when somebody gets ran into the dirt.
They go to the Browns the next year. Like, you run them 400 times.
Okay.
Ain't that what y'all did to Jamal Lewis?
It is.
Y'all ran him something like 400 times in one season, beasting it up, ran for damn near 2,000 yards, if not 2,000 yards.
Okay.
And then y'all was like, oh, shit, this dude is...
No, we saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, because y'all ran 2 seasons off in one season.
The running backs were built for it then. The running backs are built. They were 230, 240 pounds.
He's a big boy.
They were built for that shit. Nowadays, your star running backs 205, 210, 215. It's not happening.
And that's my point. When I watch what they're doing with the Saints, they can't do it as much this year because Latavius Murray is
garbage.
Abysmal.
Okay, yeah.
That man wouldn't know how to break a tackle like, man, Jesus Christ.
Which he didn't know anywhere else. I don't know why somebody thought he would come into New Orleans and be Mark Ingram.
He looks like a big bruiser. But that's another dude, man. Super underrated. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah.
But you're watching... What the fuck I was talking about? I got derailed like a what?
Just because we talked about how shitty Latavius Murray was.
Yeah, so it's back to the real version of Christian McCaffrey that y'all want, which is Kamara, which is the dude that can run and catch evenly, just as good. He's a 10 in both categories. But this dude breaks tackles like crazy and keeps going. He's almost impossible to tackle, and I feel like Christian McCaffrey isn't quite that last thing. I do feel like he's getting there. I know he put on some weight this year.
Yeah.
And he's
a stocky looking
man. Yeah, he's definitely
210 or whatever the hell he is. He's a stocky looking guy.
Yeah, he's definitely getting.
But randomly I was just thinking of another running back. Besides your Saquons, your McCaffrey, Kamara, Zeek, you gotta look at Chubb.
Yeah.
Chubb is sneaky I mean, obviously he's not Dalvin.